If you've been paying attention to the Memphis real estate market lately, you've probably noticed something a little unexpected. Some neighborhoods that were really hot just a couple of years ago are starting to cool off a little bit. And in a city known for affordability, even small price shifts can create big opportunities or big mistakes, depending on how you approach it. So where are prices actually dropping the most, and why is it happening? And what does it mean for you if you're thinking about buying or selling right now? Because here's the truth, it's not a one-size-fits-all market. So today I'm going to break down where we're seeing the biggest slowdowns, what's actually causing it, and how to navigate this market smartly. Hi, I'm Jen Carstensen with the Live Love Memphis Group. My team has been helping people buy, sell, and relocate to Memphis since 2008. And over the years, I've seen this market go through a lot of different phases. But what we're seeing right now is interesting, even for longtime locals, because here's what you need to understand before making any move. Memphis is not one market. It's a collection of micro markets, and you can have one neighborhood appreciating while another just a mile away is slowing down. And if you don't understand that before you buy or sell, it can cost you, sometimes in a big way. So let's start with the area that's getting the most attention right now. And now let's be clear right up front. We're not seeing a massive crash across the board, but in downtown and parts of South Memphis, we are seeing slower sales, more price reductions, and more variability from street to street. In some pockets, there's a real downward pressure. In others, prices are holding steady or even slightly up. That's the micro market effect. So what's driving the softness in certain areas? Well, a lot of homes in these areas were built decades ago, and today's buyers, they're much more focused on move-in ready homes or renovations that are predictable and manageable. So if a home needs significant updates, buyers are factoring that in and adjusting what they're willing to pay. Even when a specific street feels safe, the overall perception of an area still influences buyers. And perception alone can impact demand. And that's something we see a lot in Memphis. Two streets very close together, but completely different buyer behavior. Inventory in certain pockets. Some of these areas simply have more homes for sale than buyers right now. And when that happens, prices adjust until things balance out. But what does this mean for buyers? Well, this is where the opportunity actually shows up. So if you're willing to look closely, study the street, not just the zip code, and think long-term, you can find real value here. In fact, a lot of local investors say don't judge the area, judge the block. Because in South Memphis especially, that matters a lot. Now, when you move into areas like East Memphis and White Station, that story shifts a bit. These areas are still very stable overall, but what we are seeing is homes taking longer to sell, especially at higher price points, and there's more room for negotiation. Why is that? Well, higher interest rates. When rates go up, affordability goes down, and that hits higher priced homes the hardest. So buyers are more selective, more cautious, less willing to stretch. Price sensitivity. Buyers right now are paying attention. They're comparing homes more closely, and if something feels overpriced, like even slightly, they're walking away and negotiating harder. Slight inventory. In some pockets, there's just enough listings to create competition among sellers. Not a flood, but enough to shift leverage slightly towards buyers. And what this means is last year, you might have had to waive contingencies, made rush decisions, compete heavily, but now you might be able to negotiate repairs or ask for concessions or get a better deal overall. That's a shift. Now, let's talk about the areas that tend to stay steady no matter what's happening elsewhere. Germantown and Collierville continue to show strong stability. We're not seeing price drops here, at least not significant ones. In many cases, values are holding or slowly appreciating. And probably the number one reason for me would be school systems. That's one of the biggest drivers anywhere. Families consistently prioritize high-performing school districts, and that demand doesn't disappear easily. Community and amenities. These areas offer well-maintained neighborhoods, parks, shopping, restaurants, and that consistency keeps buyer demand strong. Long-term confidence. Buyers feel confident investing here. Even during market shifts, these areas are seen as lower risk and more stable long-term. The bottom line is if your goal is stability, these areas tend to hold up better than most. Now, let's zoom out for a second because it's not just one thing causing prices to soften in certain areas. It's usually a combination of factors working together. So interest rates impacting affordability, inventory levels creating competition, local demand shifts, neighborhood perception, and even home condition. And here's the key. Most of what we're seeing right now is market correction, not a decline. And that's an important distinction. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Memphis right now, understanding these neighborhood level trends is everything. That's exactly why I created my free Memphis relocation guide. It breaks down neighborhoods and pricing trends and just really what to expect next. It's the same guide I give my clients. So you can grab it with the QR code down below or the link in the description. Opportunities for buyers. This is honestly where things get exciting because price adjustments, they create opportunity. So right now, buyers can find homes that have been sitting and negotiate a little bit more and get better terms than they could even a year ago, and even explore areas that were previously out of reach. Also seeing more flexibility from sellers. So they're more likely to help with closing costs and even understand price reductions a little bit better. And in a market like Memphis, where long-term affordability is still strong, this can be a really powerful combination. Sellers need strategy now. And now on the flip side, if you're selling, this market requires a different approach. Gone are the days of just listing and waiting. Now, pricing matters more than ever, and presentation matters more than ever, and timing matters more than ever. Homes that are priced right, they're selling quickly. Homes that are overpriced, well, they're sitting and then they end up reducing anyway, so buyers notice that. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Memphis is a micro market city, not even neighborhood by neighborhood, sometimes street by street. So you can have one home selling in days and another nearby sitting for weeks. Why? Because of condition or location within the neighborhood or nearby development, even something as simple as layout or updates. So broad advice doesn't always work here, so local knowledge matters a lot. If you're trying to stay ahead of the market, here's what I'd be watching. New development projects, infrastructure improvements, retail and commercial expansion, school changes, and of course, interest rates. All of these can shift demand really quickly. Let's make this practical. If you're navigating this market, do your research, go hyper-local, know your numbers, don't stretch just because something dropped. Think long-term, not just short-term pricing. Look at condition versus price, not just price alone. Work with someone local. This matters now more than ever because the difference between a great deal and a bad one is often in the details. Here's the bottom line. Yes, some Memphis neighborhoods are seeing prices dip, but this isn't a crash, this is a shift, a rebalancing, and in many ways, a healthier market. Buyers who understand that can find real opportunity, and sellers who adapt can still get strong results. The key is knowing where to look and how to move. So the real question is, are you going to approach this market strategically or reactively? If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Memphis, my team and I would love to help. So start with that free relocation guide in the description. And if this video helped you, hit like, it really does help. And subscribe, tap the bell, and drop your questions in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.